Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to make a card that's using Oxide inks and layered dyes. It's going to be lots of fun. I hope you'll stay tuned for that. Before I start, I want to show you a couple of tips that I thought would help you guys just in general. One of them is a way to clean things that's easier than really harsh chemicals, and that is using hand sanitizer to clean ink off of just about everything. I was watching Tim Holtz talk about what he uses to clean things, and he says this is his answer for everything. So I thought what we would do is, I don't know if you can see that black spot on my MISTI. I'm just going to wipe this off. I think it's on the inside, but I'm going to wipe the outside first. And you can definitely see it. Well, hopefully you can definitely see it. I still have some on my rag. So let's put a little bit more on my rag just for the inside, just to make sure we cover the whole thing. I have some yucky stuff on my plastic over here too. So there you have it, nice and clean. That's a good way to clean it. Wait, I got a little spot of something. That's a good way to clean your MISTI or your acrylic blocks. And speaking of acrylic blocks, I want to show you a thing that I've thought about for these. Oh, I painted my nails today. Look how great they look. I've only had the nail polish on them for like an hour, and it already has come off. And I wanted to show you. It wasn't an old one. I just bought this. It's this kind that's supposed to be so good. Yeah, it's great. Look, it's almost all my nails have come off. I'd already damaged them before I started doing anything crafty. I just am that good. I'm skilled at this. So let me just wipe off this block. I'm going to show you a secret in case you buy a block that you're going to use, but it's frustrating because it doesn't have those marks on it to show you where your stamp is straight or when it's not, when it's crooked. So you're going to take your T-square and you're going to put it right up to your top of your, I'm going to turn it this way so I can get a better grip on it. You're going to turn it this way so that you have a nice firm grip on it, and then you're just going to draw lines. You can draw as many as you want. I like to draw a couple just so I have an idea of where the straight edge should be, and then I'm going to do the same on this side. And I'll show you how slick this is once you do it, because it makes it so much easier to do your, I'm going to do more on this edge, a little smear on there. If you get a little smear on it, all you have to do is take some alcohol and that'll take it right off. But I just wanted to show you how you do this. Now, you're going to wait for this to dry. Oh, look how this one isn't even straight. How nice a job I did. Well, we're not going to go with that one. We'll use that one for later, but I'll wipe all these off and redo them later. This is the one that is straight and this one's straight. But when you put your stamps on, you're not going to put your stamp on that side. That side is what you're using just to help you line things up. The underneath is where you're going to have your sentiment. And my sentiment looks a little bit rough. I was told that if you have clear stamps that you can put this hand sanitizer on it and that will take the discoloration off of it, and we'll see if that works. It's taking some of it off, not a lot, but it is taking some. So that's something that we know now doesn't really work. Okay, remember this line is not straight, obviously it's not, but the other ones are. So you're going to go to the bottom of your block. The way you want to do it is you want to be able to look like this through the block and make sure that it's straight, because if you look at it like this, you won't be able to, for me, I can't see that it's in a straight line, but if you look at it straight on, then you'll be able to tell. So I either put my head directly over it, so blocked it, or I put it on off camera. So I chose to put it on off camera just so you could then see what I'm talking about. The lines are on this side to line it with, so that when you clean your block, you won't wipe these off. But of course I have to wipe it off to fix it. But anyway, that's what you do. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be using Distress Oxides, and we're going to be making a card using some layered dyes. And the layered dyes we're using are these. and they will take up the full card front, so that's nice. And I have these little marshmallow things that I've never really used, but I thought, what the heck, might as well try to use them today. And I think I'm going to use these card stocks, 2 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 pieces of paper, or 4 inches by 5 1/4 if you want them a little bit smaller. And I think I cut mine to 4 inches by 5 1/4 because I want to have a little border on my card. So then what you're going to do, these little marshmallow things are from Doris, and they don't work really well for me, but I thought, what the heck, I'll give them a try today, and maybe I'll have better results than I've had in the past. And I thought what I would do is use fossilized ambered, twisted citron, and peacock feathers on this one, and I might change it out a little bit. I might also put lucky clover on there. I want to make sure I have a little bit of variety in my colors, so that's why I'm trying to come up with these 4. I'm going to start with my lightest color, which is fossilized amber. We're going to take our little marshmallows. I'm not sure what they're called. I know Doris makes them, but I can't remember what they're called. I'll probably look that up in the meantime and put it in the information below. If you don't know that, I write everything in the information below. I explain in detail how to do every one of these projects in the information below. So if you are wondering if I didn't explain something well in the video, you can go with that, reading the information below. Okay, I'm really trying to make sure that I do a nice job of getting this nice and inked, because I'm just going to kind of put some circles around on my card. I'm going to let this one dry. Remember, distress oxides do take a little bit more time to dry. I'm not going to wet these. I'm just going to use them as is. So let me go to my second piece and I'll be right back. I decided I was going to make 2 cards and 2 different techniques. So on this card I'm going to do stripes, and so the way to do those is I'm going to go lightest to darkest, and I'm going to put my ink pad straight down and rub it across like that. I'm going to do both. I have 2 bases. Do both of them at once. Doesn't matter if I get anything on the back of them, because I'm going to layer it onto a base, card base. And these are going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4. The 2 that I'm cutting, or that I'm coloring, not cutting, coloring. Now see this spot down here? I can put more little smears of red in there just to kind of make it all look like it's on purpose, intentional. I can do lines like this one has to make it look intentional. You'll see when we do this that it all kind of has it all kind of looks nifty when it's done. And these big dies, I like to tape them on just because I want to make sure that they're really in place and they don't move, because if they accidentally would shift, I'm going to do the green ones first. If they would accidentally shift, what would happen is you'd end up having a part of your image not in place, and we want to really make sure that ours are completely, like our card is exactly in the center like that. And then we're going to put a piece of tape over that so that we're sure that it stays where we had it. And I like to use the tape from Dollar Tree for this because it's it's more like paper than it is. Washi tape is usually more like waxy, and this is more papery, and I like it better because it is papery and I don't have as many issues taking it off of my back. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, you see how I have that taped on like that. I'm going to hold it in place, and then I'm going to wrap it around the edge like that. And then that way, when I put it through the die cutting machine, it ends up nice and well adhered. Okay, let me run these through the die cutting machine and I'll be right back. Both of them went through the die cutter, and let me take one out of the way so you can see this. If you use your pokey tool, you can easily get these to come out. And if you can't, when I put it through the die cutting machine, I do turn mine a little bit on an angle so that it goes through better, just so it'll take out all these little teeny tiny pieces. The first thing I did is I pulled out the two die cuts, and that's the bottom one, and this is the top one, and then when I layer them on top of each other, they're going to be like that. And I'm going to make my base this Twisted Citron green. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take my card, I'm going to put the base of the card inside this piece of paper, and I have another scrap underneath, and I'm just going to change the color of my cardstock to citron yellow or twisted citron, because I think it'll look better underneath those die cuts to have it match the images that are on top. Alright, I'm going to dry this, and in the meantime, I already ran this, the fossilized amber color all over this white cardstock, and I'm going to use a smile die cut for it. My sentiment says, I'm going to know what it's going to say in a minute. Sending a smile your way. I thought that was a sweet sentiment, and so with the green card and the yellow sentiment, I think it'll look nice. And my smile is a little bit bigger. I don't remember where I got this from, but everything else, all the information will be down below in the information below the video. So let me cut these out and I'll be right back. So I glued everything down on the red card because I didn't think you'd want to watch me do it twice, and I put the sentiment in the inside that says sending a smile your way, and that came from Love and Affection, an old Stampin' Up set. So then I thought I would show you how I put it all together in the blue and green card. And in the blue and green card, remember we made the base in the green Twisted Citron color. That's that color. So that's our card base. And this is a top folding card, and I stamped the same sentiment in the inside, sending a smile your way. And I do have the smile sentiment. I think I'm going to use this yellowish paper. I'm not sure. I think it'll work. It's like I think it'll work. Anyway, I'm going to use that to lay my sentiment on, and then I'll cut it once I have the sentiment in place. I ran the sentiment through my Xyron, and I did it 3 times. Once in white, just because I didn't have enough of the yellow paper to do basically 6 of them, because if you'll recall, I did the same smile on the other card. And there's a lot of adhesive that goes in between the letters that you kind of have to pull out of there, and you can do it with one of those erasers. I'll show you that too, but I'm just going to lay this one down for now so that I can, ooh, that S does not want to play, just so I can make sure that that I can clean up everything. You can use one of these erasers to go in between the letters, but I find I have, oh, I got something off from somewhere else. I find I have better luck using the point of my scissors and just kind of scratching at it like that. And sometimes people use this while it's still on this paper, but I find that once I pull it off is when I find the problem. See all that? I hope you can see all that. It's a mess. And I'm going to lay my smile down, And then once we get it laid down, then we'll use the scissors on it. I have a problem with my S here. You can always leave that white layer offset too, so that you can see the white. That's the one thing about the Xyron that I don't love, is all that extra adhesive that stays on my project. Looks okay. And then if you don't really love the look of it, if you think it needs a little bit more work, you can take your yellow, this is the same inking pod that I used, and you can run it over the letters that way. I'm going to cut out my letters with, this is the easiest way to do this because you can lift up the cut bar, which most things you can't. I have 2 layers of paper there that I didn't realize I had. Cut off some of that. Now the tricky part is going to be gluing our base together. Here is the bottom piece, and here's the piece that goes above it. So you're going to use wet glue, and the easiest way to do it on a piece like this is to just go down your rows. Hopefully you can see me doing this. If you just kind of take your glue and just not put a ton. I just want to make sure that I'm doing zigzags where my X's are too. I'm calling them X's. I don't know what you would call them. Cut that banner, you just cut a little snip in the center like that, and then you go in from each edge. I use that as a guide more than where I'm snipping to. I just want to make sure that I'm kind of snipping to that spot. And I'm not going to put this up on any kind of foam, because the dimension with those 3 layers of smile will make it so that it'll stay in place and look fine. And I'm going to put this one, where should I put it? Down here. I'm going to put it right like that, I think. Made for you by Sandy Parker. And then I'm going to get a couple of envelopes and we'll be all set. Okay, I think I'm just going to get, I have some really cool fluorescent green tape. Because it's pretty much the same color, I think I'm going to go with it. Okay. There is that. I think it's kind of cool. If you hate it, well, it's alright. If you hate it, you hate it. But I kind of like it. I like the glitter to it. And then we'll just put another row of it along the back of our, I was going to do the flap, but I think I'll just do it around the envelope. This way, if we put it on the envelope, then our card and our envelope will match, and that'll be kind of cool, I think. Or it won't. And you'll be saying to yourself, why did you do that, Sandy? I hate that. You'll be voting later. You could put your vote on the comments below. You can vote about whether you like that glittery part I just put on the smile or not. I used some of these sassy and chic little nail, I don't know, stickers I guess you call them, and I glued them on to my smile. I thought that really made it look fun and frisky. I hope you enjoyed this and that you'll give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Tell your friends about me on social media because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.